morning. Today we're going to learn how to make adjustments to our foundation footings, not by cutting corners, but however by using the void option whenever you do a model in place in your projects. The one thing I hate the most is cutting corners, especially with your models. You want your models to be as efficient and as possible, because you can definitely hide lines on 2D. But I mean, what does that really do to your model or the whole purpose of working in Revit? The whole purpose of working in Revit is because you want to fully model your project. You don't want to cut corners, because if you start hiding lines on a 2D view and not actually, modifying the model, whenever a client goes into your 3D model, they're going to see that that particular cut on the footing wasn't actually done, but it was actually just hidden on a 2D view. So to start off with, I'm just going to, I'll start off at my second level. And then I'm going to go to my structural tab. I'm going to go to wall. I'm just going to choose the structural one. Generic. I'm just going to select the rectangle option here. And just randomly draw a rectangle. Alright, why isn't it letting me? I apologize there. There, I got activate it. There we go. And there we go. Click there. So the reason it's showing kind of like screen is because I'm working off of my second level. Since I'm working off of my second level, when I model my my walls, I want to make sure I choose the depth, because it's going to work from the second level down to the first level. So this is fine. I'm just going to click. It's already actually modeled in. So now I'm going to go, I can go to a 3D view, or I can actually from here, what I can do is I can go back to my structural tab, and then I'm going to select the structural foundation wall footings. These are the proper ones that you're supposed to use for your CMU walls or concrete walls. So I'm going to click on that. And then I'm going to adjust this footing, make it wider. So to do that, you always want to duplicate your family. You never want to modify the one that comes with your Revit package. So I'll click on the edit type. I'm going to duplicate this. And then I'm going to change this and make it 60 inches so that I don't modify the previous one. And then, of course, I'm going to adjust my width to 5 feet. Click OK, click apply, OK, there. Now I'm going to click on each of the walls, and then you're going to get this warning, which basically is saying that from this view you can't see the footings because of the view range. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our first level, and even at our first level we can't see the footings, because if you type in VR, you'll get the pop-up for your view range. And here you'll see that the cut plane is 4 feet above level 1, but then the bottom cutoff is at 0, 0. And as you guys already know, our footing were generated below this parameter here. So we want to change it, we'll lower it by 6 inches. So you want to make sure that these two are consistent. So this one we're going to lower it by 6 inches, because our footing is 12 inches. And then we're going to click apply. And once you do that, you'll see the footing lines. In another video, I'll teach you guys how to manipulate these lines so on your plan work they look the way they should for construction documents. But for this video, the purpose is to teach you how to make modifications to your foundations whenever needed. So as some of you might know from construction, I'm going to draw a line, a random line. So I believe it's DL, the command to just draw a random line. I'm going to see if I can get a center line here. Yeah, center line. So as you guys know from construction, sometimes what will happen, I'm going to make sure, it doesn't matter what angle it is. I'll make it 45. There we go. Sometimes in construction, you'll find yourselves in a situation where your footing is encroaching on a property line. And if that's the case, then there's no way you can get that project permitted because of setbacks, and that's a whole different scenario. But in order for us to fix this scenario, we would have to cut this portion of the footing off so that we're not cutting through the property line. Unfortunately, with the Revit package footings that come with the walls, you can't modify these. Like if you click on these, you don't get an option to edit the profile, to edit anything here. So the workaround, which is a proper workaround because you're actually going to be making modifications to your modeling, is to go to your structural tab and eventually go to components here, and then you're going to click on model in place. But before we do that, we want to make sure we get this exact cut. That's the whole purpose of this video. We want to get it exactly the way I'm showing here. We want to make sure we cut this portion off. We want to utilize as much footing as possible. So to do that, we want to create a reference plane. So reference planes, typically you can find them both on your structural tab here or on your architectural, and they serve the same purpose. I'll go back to my structural. I like to use shortcuts. I feel that shortcuts make your drafting go much faster. So I'm going to type in RP, but then I want to choose exactly that line. I don't want to be just, tracing over it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this button, and basically what that button does, what this one does here, if it lets me, let's do it again, RP, I'm going to choose that one, and basically what that one does, it asks you to pick an edge or line, as it indicates there on the very bottom left hand corner. So I'm going to click on our property line, and then what it does, it duplicates not the same line but the reference plane, so you can see the reference plane. I'm going to name it because sometimes in a project you'll have multiple reference planes, and you want to make sure you'll be able to locate it quickly. So I'm just going to call it 45 property line, just like that. The next thing I want to do is, in order for me to be able to model my void, I have to be facing the view perpendicular to the cut. So I have to be looking this direction, like this. So to do that, you have to generate a section cut. So it doesn't matter how you draw it here. I don't have to be precise, and I'm doing this intentionally. Let's say I do it like that. The key here to get it exactly on this line is that you have to use if you go to your modify, let me lower this. If you go to your modify tab here, there's a thing called the trim extend single element. You can also use this as the align tool. So you click on this, and well, not that one, I apologize, it's this one, the align tool. So you click on the align tool, click on what you want to align to, which is this, and then click on the item that you want to align, and there you go. It's exactly over the reference plane. I want it to be facing this direction instead of that direction, so all you have to do is click on your section cut and click on these arrows, and it'll switch it just like that. And then the extents of the cut, we want it to be anywhere within this ballpark. The next thing we want to do is, I'm going to maximize this, we want to go to this view. We're going to double click here on the arrow, and there we go. There's that cut right there looking into the building. Now we can finally go to our structural, and we want to make sure that before we even hit this component area tab, we want to set our reference view. So we're going to set work plane. We're going to choose the reference plane that we created, 45 property line. We're going to click OK, and just to make sure that we do have it activated, let's just click on the show tab, and there it is, it's there. Now we can finally go to our component, go to model in place. And for here, since we're working on the foundations, I always like to be consistent and keep everything in the correct category. So I'm going to go to structure foundations, click OK, and then I'm just going to randomly call this uh, foundation cut. Click OK. And then for the behavior, you want to make sure that since we're working with concrete, you want to keep the same material consistent. So our void that we'll be working with will be also under the same category. So we'll call it concrete here. And then the next step you want to do is you want to choose voids. And then you want to choose the void extrusion. And then I can also choose the pick line. And it will let me pick the top and the bottom only. It won't let me pick the vertical ones on the side because you guys got to remember this is not a solid vertical line. It's a cut. So for those you have to actually draw them in. You can just, it doesn't matter where you click here and there, and then just click the line, and then use your left arrow on your keyboard and just tap on it until you eyeball it close enough. There we go. And then do the same thing for the other one. So we're going to draw a line. We'll draw it from there to there. And we'll zoom in. We'll click on the line. And then we'll use our keyboard arrow tabs. And we'll tap it towards the right. There we go. And once we do that, we want to use the trim command. So we have to use the trim command to trim command to cut off the edges of those lines that extrude beyond, or else Revit won't let you continue. So at this point, what I like to do is I like to see a 3D view of where I'm actually working on. So what I do is I go to my little house up here, which is your default 3D view. I click on it, and then I'm gonna orbit on that area right there. So there's where we're gonna generate our cut. The next thing you want to do here is you want to put some number here so that the extrusion will go beyond this area. That's the only way it'll cut this whole portion off. It's gotta go beyond these two side parameters. So I'm just gonna make it. I'll make it 2 feet and click. Okay, and then click OK. Click the arrow here, and there you go. It goes beyond. The next thing you want to do, and this is where some people kind of bang their heads and then they give up, because what they'll do is they'll click the finish model, and they'll get this pop-up. And basically what this pop-up is saying is that, hey, you're not cutting through anything. But as you can see, we are cutting through the foundation. But regardless, it's saying no, you're not cutting through the foundation. And the reason being is there's a trick you got to do before you finalize it. So we're just going to click escape here. And before that, I'm going to zoom in like that. Make sure I'm just going to extend these further out. So make sure that I'm cutting across. Because sometimes from the angle in 3D, you can't really see whether you're cutting across. So the trick is that you have to, before you finalize your void model, you got to click the cut command up here. And then it's going to ask you first, select solid geometry to be cut. So we want this geometry to be cut, and we want this element to cut it. And once you do that and you click finish, there you go. See how beautiful that is? Now if we go back to our plan view, there it is. Exactly where we wanted the cut to be performed. And I'm going to move this out of the way so you guys can see. I'm going to move the section cut. And there it is. This is the way, and the proper way to model things. Other people will end up doing is, since they don't know how to modify the footings, what they'll do is they'll draw invisible lines here and here on plan view, but then when they go to 3D view, what happens is they're not showing this, they're showing the whole pointed footing. So I hope this video was very helpful in explaining how to go about modifying wall footings on your projects. And please, I will be uploading more productive, efficient videos that will enable you to learn some more drafting techniques that will enhance your skills and make you more productive. So please subscribe to my channel, because I will be adding more videos, and that way you guys get the notifications. See you guys until the next one. Bye.